Smita Ram and Ram NK, the co-founders of Habba, and you know, we've spoken with them, and we worked with them over the longest time now to get this program, this idea underway. Smita, if I can come to you first, how and why did you come up with the concept of Habba?
I think, Vishnu, came from our own journey of working with artisans and weavers through Rangbe. And we would support them with working capital, and we felt that we were doing a great job. But when we visited communities that had already received these loans from us for our impact studies and assessments, we realized that we were only fixing a part of the problem. Despite our loans, the lives of our artisans and weavers kind of remained the same. It had not changed. And many of them actually had access to markets. And that actually, raised a question mark for us on how are we actually impacting them. So it took us some time to understand what this problem is. And then we realized there are two things. One, there's a lot of information asymmetry between the customer and the artisans and weavers. Today, as a customer, I may pay a premium for an artisan product without thinking that this money is actually going to the artisans, but that may not be happening in reality. On the other hand, our artisans and weavers may not really know what is it that I am expecting as a customer. So Habba's aim is to really create this community of conscious customers who make this choice of buying handmade and handwoven as a very conscious decision and as a way of life. So that was really the motivation. And luckily, many people here today supported us in this journey. They encouraged us to, get started with the Habba journey. And I must say it has been the most enriching part of our lives.
बिल्कुल स्मिता, ये बहुत अहम है। राम, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगी कि आपको लगता है आपकी इस यात्रा में कि जो कई क्राफ्ट्स हैं या आर्ट फॉर्म्स हैं, अगर हम उनको लोगों तक नहीं पहुँचाए तो वो विलुप्त हो जाएंगे, समाप्त हो जाएंगे?
ये बिल्कुल, और स्पेशली आज की जो कोरोना काल में हम लोग रह रहे हैं, इस समय तो ये बहुत ही अहम बात होगी, क्योंकि एक तो उनको रोजगार नहीं मिल रहा है, और ये जो क्राफ्ट हैं जितने भी अभी हैं इस समय, उनका भी एक तरह से टिक पाना इस दौर से बहुत ही मुश्किल होगा, और इसके लिए हमने जो भी हमें करना चाहिए, हमें वो करना पड़ेगा।
Ram, how have corporates reacted to your effort? Now, in an earlier conversation that we'd had, you spoke about your outreach initiatives. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about, all of us have been talking about this new normal, and I think we're all getting used to it. And one of the things, when we started talking to corporates, their point of view was, well, that they don't have a gifting policy, because our pitch to them was, could we dedicate their gifting budget to handmade in India? So, and our request to them was that in this new normal, we also need to come up with new policies. And one of those policies would be to come up with a handmade in India gifting policy. And to our surprise, many of these corporates agreed to do that, which was almost overnight. Very grateful for that. But this is something which we would really be looking at more and more corporates to do this. And this is something which will have disproportionate impact.
Right.
On the community profile.
Yeah. The corporate should have a gifting policy, and that too handmade, they'll say. Smita, I'd like to ask you, how have the communities you work with weathered the lockdown?
I think they've done this, as always, they've done this, with a smile. And, they have said that we don't have a choice. How do we cope with this? And they have done different ways of either getting access to markets or continuing with their lives without really complaining. And that really was the reason why we felt something has to be done, and something had to be done at a national level. And I'm so glad that, this entire campaign has been put together by about 200 team members, not just the Habba team. All our partner organizations have come together for this. Habba is just a platform. We are nothing without our partners, right? So 200 team members, 20,000 artisans have actually been a part of this. And I would say that there's a little bit of India in every hamper that has been curated today. And it would just be wonderful for all of us to experience this in this festival season. It's just been an amazing experience.
Yes, Smita, thank you so much. Smita and Ram, thank you so much.